And if you look at Bitcoin's compound annual rate of return, it's 44% over that time versus I think it's 4.5% for all other assets combined. So we think the superior returns are going to be there. This is the beginning. This is just the beginning of this new asset class. Yes, and the volatility is coming down. As we look at, are we going to have the same returns from peak to trough going forward? Perhaps not. But we've come a long way, and we still think we have miles to go.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. In today's video, Cathie Wood, founder and CEO of RK Invest, dives into the importance of crypto adoption, why she is so bullish on Bitcoin, ETF, macro factors, a price target of $1.5 million, areas in the industry she is excited about, and more. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
Many people think of Bitcoin as a risk-on asset, and it certainly has traded like that over time. But we have been looking at it as both risk-on and risk-off. And I can tell you when we first learned that in 2015, when we took our first position in Bitcoin via GBTC, Bitcoin was about $250. And many people were making fun of us at the time, thinking, oh, they're new. We had just started our funds in October of 14. Oh, they're new. They're just trying to gain attention. This is a marketing gimmick. And so we were really on the spot. First of all, we had done a lot of research. We didn't think, we thought there was real investment merit, but we're watching like a hawk its moves. And back then, Greece was threatening to leave the European Union. And every time there was a flare-up, and a fear of another European sovereign debt crisis, Bitcoin inched up. And so we've been looking at it as both a risk-on and a risk-off asset for quite some time. And the regional bank crisis last year kind of confirmed that point of view, that here Bitcoin more than doubled as regional banks were imploding. So I think many people are beginning to say, well, as they learn what this is, wow, could it be both a risk-on and a risk-off asset? We think so.
Bitcoin recorded one of its strongest quarters in the past 3 years in Q1, but analysts warn this could lead to significant volatility in the lead-up to the Bitcoin halving. Be prepared for some screwy price action as we head into the halving. Bitcoin experienced a 64% price increase during the first quarter of 2024, January 1 to March 31, its third-best quarter over the past 3 years, as per Cathie research data. At the beginning of the quarter, it stood at $44,172 on January 1, and by the quarter's end, it had reached $71,255. However, Desmond argues that the consistent pattern of outperforming price performance in weekly and monthly closings signals unprecedented market conditions. Never before have we seen such a strong weekly, monthly, and quarterly close above previous ATH, only to retrace so far so fast, Desmond declared. The Bitcoin halving is just 15 days away, set to happen on April 20, and is stirring speculation it could trigger further upward movement in the second quarter of 2024 due to the expected supply shock. Popular pseudonymous crypto analyst Rect Capital believes that Bitcoin may not follow the same trajectory as it did in the previous quarter, and at best, it could see resistance levels close to the all-time highs of the first quarter. BTC may consolidate between $60,000 and $70,000 for the coming weeks, going into the halving and beyond, Rect Capital said. While the launch of spot Bitcoin ETF on January 11 by several of the world's largest asset management firms has heightened interest and speculation around Bitcoin's price, some foresee a potential narrative shift. Most likely not Bitcoin, Michael Van de Poppe said. Pre-halving Bitcoin interest, spot ETF launch causing additional liquidity. This is slowing down, back to normal price levels, after which a new narrative is likely going to surge.
As far as the halving, I think what we're trying to do in terms of education, as we have this new investor base, is say, you know what? For the first time, the supply growth of Bitcoin, as it drops from 1.9% per year to roughly 0.9% per year, come April, it's hitting an important milestone. The supply of gold has been growing very long term, on average 1%. So now, I mean, it's just marginally, but it is below the supply growth of gold. So we're trying to use that to help people understand a lot of the reason that gold became such a successful asset class is because the supply growth was fairly controlled, especially relative to money growth out there in various regimes, including our own. And so I think I don't see any reason why the halving won't cause the same dynamic that it has in the previous cycles, especially as we're going out there with that message. And it doesn't happen right away, April and boom, and it usually doesn't happen that way. So maybe they'll develop some impatience, but we think that it emphasizes one of the core features of Bitcoin and the reason it is a risk-off asset as well as a risk-on asset.
The Bitcoin price has risen around 658% since the last Bitcoin halving in 2020, according to TradingView data, and is currently trading around the $66,000 mark. The 2024 Bitcoin halving will happen in less than 3 weeks. If historical chart patterns were to repeat, Bitcoin's current $66,000 price would reach $434,280 per coin by the 2028 halving if it performs similarly to the current cycle. Nonetheless, Bitcoin's post-halving rallies have seen diminishing returns throughout the years. Until the first halving in 2012, Bitcoin increased from having virtually no value to $12.50, an over 12,400% increase. Bitcoin price jumped 5,200% to $650 by the 2016 halving and 1,200% to $8,500 by the 2020 halving. Thus, Bitcoin's average price rallies fell by 45% each cycle to the current 658%. If this diminishing returns trend repeats, Bitcoin will deliver a 360% rally during the next cycle, resulting in a roughly $303,600 BTC price at the 2028 halving. Considering the halving and price trends from a very rigorous quantitative point of view, there is no evidence supporting a positive correlation between the halving event and BTC price. But history can be interpreted in many different ways. I certainly hope for $435,000 by 2028, but won't put too much into it. A six-figure BTC price appears even more possible if Bitcoin ETF overtake gold ETF, which is something that could happen in the next 2 years, according to report analyst Eric Balchunas. Additionally, Bitcoin ETF are growing at a much quicker pace than gold ETF did when they first appeared in 2004. In fact, Bitcoin is speedrunning gold's price fivefold. Bitcoin is basically just 5x speedrunning gold's trajectory. The last 10 years of Bitcoin look a bit like a squished version of gold's last 50. No wonder some people get salty. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.